Let's talk about a tough topic, articles. Articles are tough because before you can use articles correctly, you need to first understand about countable and uncountable nouns and plurals very well. In this video, we'll be talking about the indefinite article a or an, the definite article the, and when we would not use an article. If you've been watching and following this module so far, we started with countable and uncountable nouns, then plurals, and all that information is important to know for this lesson, articles, as all of these topics are linked together. For example, if you assume that the word employment is countable, you'll assume that you should add the article un to it. I'm looking for unemployment. Then you might add an s to it to make it plural. Before you know it, many of your sentences are wrong. So it all starts with knowing your countable and uncountable nouns very well, and I recommend you review that submodule before looking at this one. Remember that an article is a part of speech which defines nouns as specific or non-specific. You see, articles provide information about the noun for your listener, whether you are speaking about something specific, something you've already talked about, or if you are simply making generalizations. The use of articles can generally be summed up in this chart. We see that for singular nouns, we can refer to it in two ways, non-specific or specific, like, I left a report on your desk, non-specific. You don't know what kind of report it was. Versus the next day when your coworker says, have you read the report yet? Plurals and non-count nouns can also be thought of as general or specific as well. For example, writing reports is difficult, or it's important to get feedback, are general statements, while the reports you gave me were well written, or thanks for the feedback, are specific. So, to summarize, we see that we use a or an or no article for non-specific information and the for specific information. But let's look more closely at what this specific and non-specific information means, because this is essential to understanding articles. Included in non-specific is new information or new to the listener. Information the listener has never heard before. For example, we'll be launching a new product. Specific is information that's been heard before or old information. The product is a portable stove. We can continue this even further. A study was conducted and the study concludes that this will be a popular product. Non-specific could refer to members in a group. I'm an engineer. I am one engineer out of many in this profession. I am not unique. On the other hand, specific means a unique member in a group. I am the engineer on the team. There's only one engineer on the team, you. That's why we use the for when there is only one of something unique, like the sun, the moon, the prime minister. That's also why we use the definite article for superlatives. It is the lightest stove on the market today, because we want to specify it out of all the other things in a group. Finally, general ideas are non-specific, and for this, we use no article. Portable stoves are gaining popularity. The stove will be a massive success. We were nonspecific when talking about stoves in general and used no article, but when we talked about the product being developed, we used a definite article. The examples this chart referred to are countable nouns, portable stoves. But remember that specific and nonspecific can apply to uncountable nouns too, like information. It's important to gather information on a product before proceeding. The information shows that these stoves will be popular all year round. So, when deciding about a noun, ask yourself, is the noun countable or uncountable or plural? If it is a singular, countable noun, ask yourself, is it specific? If yes, use the. If no, use a or an. For a plural or uncountable noun, ask yourself, is it specific? If yes, use the. If no, use no article. Be careful of these points. All singular countable nouns need a determiner in front of them, like an article, demonstrative pronoun, number, something. Proper nouns, nouns that are names that do not usually take an article. I say usually because with articles of geography, there are some additional rules which you can read about more in this module. And below this video, you'll find a short tutorial on the difference between a and an, and the pronunciation of articles as well. Let's look at some of the errors which are common for students to make with articles. As mentioned earlier, if you don't correctly identify the noun as countable or uncountable from the beginning, you'll run into trouble with the sentence. Here, the student has assumed that advice is countable. Putting the in front of proper nouns. Remember that proper nouns do not take an article, so here we cannot use the in front of BCIT. Placing the wrong article in front of an adjective. Sometimes when an adjective comes before a noun, students might use the wrong article or forget the article altogether. Finally, overusing the zero article. Remember, it's only for non-specific information or plural nouns. Here, the writer needs to add a. A final word on this topic is that article usage is one of the most challenging aspects of the English language, and it takes learners a long time to master them. But be patient, try your best to proofread your work and ask yourself, countable or uncountable, specific or non-specific, and your article usage will gradually improve. Thanks for listening.